Most men will go their entire lives without ever picking up a sword. Not a literal sword, but the kind that matters, the one that cuts away everything weak inside you, the one that separates who you are from who you are pretending to be. Miyamoto Musashi found his before he was 13 years old. You still haven't found yours, and the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to feel the grip. Here's the part they never tell you about Musashi's path. It doesn't start with discipline. It starts with violence, failure, and a boy who had no other choice. That truth changes everything about what this road actually demands. Level 1, Novice Sword Student. You are 12 years old. You don't know anything. Your hands are soft. Your stance is wrong. Your grip is too tight because fear makes everything tight. Your instructor corrects you 17 times in 1 hour, and you feel the heat of embarrassment climbing your neck. The sword feels foreign, almost insulting in your hands, like it knows you haven't earned it yet. This is the most important stage, not because of what you learn, because of what you discover about yourself when you're bad at something and have to keep showing up anyway. Most men quit here. They find a reason. The schedule is inconvenient. The instructor is harsh. They'll start again next month. Next month becomes next year. Next year becomes never. The dojo empties out every January, and by March it's just the same 6 faces who were there before the new year brought its empty promises. What Musashi had at this stage wasn't talent. It was an inability to picture himself as anything other than a swordsman. That singular obsession is either a gift or a curse, depending on what it's aimed at. In his case, it built a legend. In yours, it could build a life. Level 2, First Duel Survival. At 13 years old, Musashi claimed his first life, a man by the name of Arima Kihei. He was a trained adult warrior who had issued an open challenge. Musashi accepted. Everyone around him thought it was a joke. The boy is going to get himself killed. His uncle tried to back out on his behalf. Musashi refused. When they met, Musashi didn't draw his sword. He picked up a wooden staff and beat Arima to death with it. Think about what that means. His first real test, and he didn't even follow the rules everyone else was playing by. He solved the problem in a way nobody expected. That is not a beginner's mindset. That is something colder and more dangerous. Your first duel isn't a sword fight. It's the moment life puts something real in front of you and says, let's see who you actually are. A business that fails, a relationship that implodes, a betrayal that rewrites everything you thought you knew. Most men respond by retreating into the version of the story where they're the victim. Musashi responded by picking up whatever was available and winning. Survival isn't enough. Survival without understanding is just delay. Level 3, Lone Ronin. By his mid-20s, Musashi had survived more than 60 duels. He had no school, no master, no affiliation. He wandered the countryside of feudal Japan, challenging established swordsmen, sleeping rough, eating poorly, forging himself through friction instead of comfort. While other samurai cultivated powerful patrons and political connections, Musashi chose the road. There's a scene in the novel Musashi by Eiji Yoshikawa where a young Musashi sits chained in a tree as punishment, left to starve or to think. He chooses to think. He emerges not broken but refined. Some men need to be stripped of everything before they can see what was essential all along. The Ronin stage is the one nobody warns you about. You've left the structure. You've rejected the comfortable path, but you haven't yet found your own code to replace it. You're in the wilderness, not metaphorically, psychologically. That wilderness is not a detour. It is the road. This is where most men make the worst trade of their lives. They get tired of the wilderness and accept a cage that comes with a salary and a title. They call it growing up. Musashi called it surrender. Level 4, Master of Two Swords. At level 4, you have developed your own system, not borrowed from someone else, not a copy of what worked for your mentor or your culture or your generation. Something original, forged from your specific failures and your specific insights. This is when other people start to notice. This is also when they start to push back. Musashi wrote in the Book of 5 Rings, "Do not think dishonestly." In context, he wasn't talking about lying to other people. He was talking about lying to yourself about your own level, about calling preparation avoidance, about calling hesitation patience, about dressing up fear in the language of wisdom. The Master of Two Swords has stopped doing that completely. They will tell you the system is too aggressive, too unconventional, too hard to follow. They are not wrong about the difficulty. They are wrong about whether difficulty is a problem. Level 5, Strategist of the Void. In his 40s, Musashi stopped fighting, not because he lost. He had never lost. He stopped because he had nothing left to prove to anyone except himself. He began writing. He began painting. He began sculpting. He turned the same precision that had ended 60 lives toward the creation of beautiful things. His brush paintings are extraordinary. There's one called Shrike on a Dead Branch, a single bird on a single limb in sparse black ink. The empty space is more powerful than the marks. That is not a coincidence. That is philosophy made visible. This is the stage most men in the self-improvement world never reach because they confuse the trophy with the path. They want the record, the proof, the ranking. Musashi had all of it and walked away because he understood something that men still don't understand 300 years later. The map is not the territory. The title is not the man. The win is not the warrior. Think about every movie where the best fighter finally faces himself. The Last Samurai, Ghost of Tsushima, even the quiet third act of any Kurosawa film. The moment of real power is never the battle. It's the stillness before it. Level 6, Unattached Mind. Consider a man named Kenji. Kenji was 28, obsessively productive, working 16-hour days, building a business that was growing but never arriving. He had read every book on discipline. He had optimized his morning. He had the habits, he had the goals, he had the systems. And he was miserable in a way that felt shameful to admit, because from the outside, he was winning. Then he read the Book of 5 Rings in a single night. Not for productivity tips, for the line that reads, roughly translated, "Do not let your mind be captured by any one thing." He had been doing the opposite his entire life, captured by results, captured by the opinion of people he didn't even respect, captured by the fear that if he ever stopped forcing it, everything would collapse. The unattached mind is not an empty mind. It is not passive. It is not detached from the world. It is a mind that can be fully present with the sword in the duel, fully present with the brush at the canvas, fully present in a conversation, and then set it down completely when it's over. No residue, no obsession, no identity wrapped around the outcome. That is harder than 60 duels, significantly harder. Level 7. Living embodiment of the way. Musashi wrote the Book of 5 Rings in a cave, weeks before he died. He was 61 years old. His body was failing. He had no students waiting, no ceremony, no grand audience. He sat in Regondo Cave on the island of Kyushu and wrote down everything he had learned across a lifetime of war, solitude, creation, and searching. He was not writing for posterity. He was writing because the truth demanded to be written. The final level is not mastery of the sword, not mastery of strategy, not even mastery of the self in the way most people imagine it. It is the moment when the practice and the practitioner become indistinguishable, when you no longer do the work to become someone, when you do the work because the work is what you are. Most men spend their lives becoming stronger, becoming wealthier, becoming more respected. Musashi at the end was not becoming anything. He was simply being, fully and completely, what 60 years of absolute commitment had made him. The path does not end with a certificate or a ceremony or a moment of recognition. It ends, if it ends at all, with a quiet cave, a brush, and the knowledge that you gave everything you had to the one thing that mattered. Here is the question you need to sit with, not answer right now. Sit with. If you stripped away the approval, the income, the status, and the audience, would you still walk this road? If the answer is yes, you've already found the first step. If the answer is no, you're not on the path yet. You're on the performance of the path. And those are two very different roads leading to two very different men. The sword does not care how good your intentions are. It only knows whether you swing. Thank you for watching. Join my free newsletter to learn more things that I might not be able to say on YouTube. And if you want to see more videos, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one.